earth, water, wind, fire. You can also look at these as solid, liquid, gas, and burning. It's easier to picture ourselves like this, rather than a lump of earth or a body of water, whirling gases or fire. We are simply made up of solid matter in our bone structure, liquid in our blood and lymphatic system, gases in which we inhale and exhale, and we are burning our food, our energy, our warmth that we generate and we take in to survive. Now, in addition to these four physical elements, there is required two more: space and consciousness. Space in which for these elements to be, and consciousness for us to know these elements. So without space, without consciousness, awareness, knowing, there can be no existence. So our very existence is, by this nature, our conscious awareness in space. It's easy, isn't it? We are solid, liquid, gas, or burning. Now the word NIBBANA, the Pali word NIBBANA, the Sanskrit word NIRVANA, this is kind of understood to be enlightenment or the end goal, the Buddhist heaven. But the literal translation of Nibbana is cooling down. To Nibbana. One puts the rice aside to Nibbana. It's cooling. So our practice is about cooling rather than heating up. And if you think of it, desire, when we have desire, we can feel our bodies heating, warming towards this goal of achievement, whether it's physical, mental, something to eat, something to do. We warm up in the anticipation. When we let go, we can slowly erode desire, reduce desire, and similarly feel the same effect, but opposite, of cooling, nibbanaing, if you like, moving towards that state of nibbana. So desire is fire, the fourth element, and therefore the reduction of desire is the cooling of that fourth fire element, or our nature of burning, heating up, becoming cool. So, understanding these four elements like this, when we come to meditate, using the four elements as a contemplation in our meditation, we can quickly come to realize how simple we are and the universe we are in really is, and how that those four elements of earth, water, wind, fire, or the aspects of ourselves which are solid, liquid, gas or burning are the very same as the trees around us, this beautiful flower you can't see but I can, this miniature rose, the earth beneath our feet and the open skies above us. We're all part of that. A whole bunch of atoms bobbling around doing their nuclear physics thing. But we have some form of separation. Or do we? Space is, of course, within each atom, a very large percentage of each atom making up even the solid aspects. There is space. And conscious awareness, where is that? Is it in here? Is it in here? Well, I'd say not. In here is our thinking brain, our onboard computer. It is made up of solid, liquid, and it warms, it heats when it's used. Our conscious awareness doesn't do that. It just knows we're getting hot, or it knows we're getting cool. It knows our emotions of sadness, it knows our emotions of happiness. But when we're happy, our conscious awareness, that which knows, it isn't happy. When we are sad, our conscious awareness, that which knows, it isn't sad. It just knows of these emotions created in this part of our physical elements forming this thinking brain. So our mind, if you like, as opposed to a different word to brain, but we have a Pali word called citta, and the citta is that knower, the aspect of our conscious awareness that is the knower, that knows. It knows when these solid, liquid, gas and burning elements are walking from one place to another, and it knows of this separately. And our understanding of this gives us a slight detachment from our experience. Our experience, whether enjoyable or unenjoyable, good or bad, can be discerned, can be understood as just that, an experience of our four physical elements, whilst all the time our conscious awareness, which isn't in here and isn't in here, but is more in line and abiding, living, dwelling, located in space, in the spacious element which is all around. And dwelling there, abiding in space, it can become equanimous, non-reactive, unaffected by the goings-on that are directly affecting our physical elements, but not affecting our conscious awareness, leaving our conscious awareness to develop compassion towards this body, other people's bodies, all beings, and this earth, this planet itself and universe. Develop loving kindness towards all beings. Develop empathy, sympathetic joy for other people's pleasure, success and enjoyment, a feeling of celebration along with them. And continue with the development of equanimity, this unreactiveness. It isn't uncaring. Our physical elements can still work, can still deal with problems as they arise, can still fix things, can still make things, can still learn and develop this thinking brain, this intellectual brain, this computer on board within this physical body. But our conscious awareness remains the same from when you were very young to when you were very old. And in our meditation we bring ourselves into this place, our conscious awareness abiding in the spacious element, observing the solid, the liquid, the gaseous and the burning nature of what we call ourselves. So when I refer to myself, when you refer to yourself or themselves, it isn't the self as in conditioned self brought about by circumstances building a personality, an ego or a so-called soul. It is the actual simple physical self of earth, water, wind and fire moving around, doing its thing. Our solid, liquid, gaseous and burning states combining to create a body, a person, which by convention and convention alone we name, we give a job title to, we give a physical location to, and we become friends with. But on a deeper level of understanding, we can become friends in a conscious awareness and spacious environment also. Is love a physical thing? Is it in a place? No. It cannot be easily described. But if somebody is in love, they know they are in love. This is a kind of connection in the spacious element, in the space element of consciousnesses. And there's an enormous amount of energy in consciousness and in spaciousness. In the physical, liquid, gaseous and burning elements, there is an enormous amount of energy too, holding them together, keeping them in those states. But those states are always transient. Take the simple example of water. At a certain temperature it is ice, it becomes liquid, it becomes vapor or gaseous, steam. Rock, wood, any physical materials ultimately form gas, burn, and then reform in a different appearance, texture, nature, even location. This is anicca, this is impermanence. This is the same as emotions brought about in our thinking mind, formed by a thinking mind from intellectual memories of the past, intellectual hopes, aspirations, or even imaginations and calculations about the future. They are not real. Emotions are not real. They can be observed. They can be felt physically. But are they real? Your conscious awareness doesn't think so. It just knows them. They arise, they pass away. So knowing this is knowing the three faculties of existence, but in a very simple way. Anicca, impermanence, dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, and anatta, not self, by knowing that everything is made of four physical elements which deteriorate and go arise and pass away, and are therefore impermanent, creating unsatisfactoriness. And they are not within our control, which is where they're not part of our self, which is in fact our conscious awareness abiding in space, observing this phenomena. So I'll leave you with that thought. What am I? What are you? You are solid, liquid, gas, burning. By reducing desire, both unwholesome and wholesome desire to some extent, one can cool that burning and become more solid, solidly placed on the ground, on a firm footing, and move closer towards Nibbana. Namo Buddhaya.